You like this one?
That's good.
You like that?
There.
He was right. It's a glacier.
Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness.
You can do it.
Not funny. He thinks it's
There we go. Yep.
Yep. So there's the mama, and there's the two babies. Right on the side of the road. Alright. Oh, yeah, we're making a run for it. Up the top of the hill. Okay, bye.
So today was mostly like that, and worse. kind of a bust when it comes to the views all the way up to Jasper and back, but it was still pretty, still a nice day. And we're back in our spot for one last night in this area, and luckily it did stop raining right before we parked, so that kind of worked out. The mountains disappeared. Even behind or in front of us.
They're
All gone.
all gone.
Good?
Yes,
Yeah?
it's very good.
Okay. Got it. I am in Calgary at the Broken Axle. So, made my appointment yesterday. Luckily they were able to squeeze me in. I had called a couple of other places and they didn't call back, and luckily they didn't, because I'm glad I'm at more of a Jeep spot. And they've got a couple of Grand Cherokees over there, and it's a Toyota 4Runner in the back, and I think it's a 4Runner, and another Grand Cherokee just picked up. But my hope is that if I need a part, they're going to be able to know where to get one, and I might have options on what part, and then also they might actually have some stuff laying around. So I'm not sure how much they're going to be able to do. Hopefully the problem isn't too serious. I've got what sounded like at the beginning a wheel out of balance, and then it became evident that it was mechanical. I did jack up the tires a few days ago, spun the wheels, and they don't spin freely, so my guess is there's either a bad inner bearing in the axle that's bad, or possibly one or both of my hubs are bad. I am running a lot of weight, obviously, and when I started this trip, I had already done a lot of the maintenance of this thing, and the hubs that I bought were not OEM. They weren't name brand. They had a good review on them, but my thought was a hub is easy to replace. I can do it in my garage, and it's not going to cost me that much to buy a new one, so I'll go with the cheaper ones at the time, not realizing that I was going to be overlanding with 5,300 pounds. And my guess is it's that, but I could be wrong. I hope it's just that. I hope it's not a broken tooth on a gear or something like that inside the housing. So I'm here, I'm going to find out. I had seriously debated on ripping all this apart myself, which I'm fully capable of doing with the tools that I have. But in Calgary, I've been looking on iOverlander. Even to find a decent place to sleep last night was impossible. I ended up in a Walmart parking lot, which is not my first option. It actually wasn't too bad, but I did have to drive a little bit on my way to get to it. But there aren't, like, when I changed my oil, I changed all my shocks and found that secluded area in the woods. Jacked this thing up to do various things, changed the front brakes and things like that. I was really comfortable doing it in that area, but here in Calgary and in any city, you can't find spots like that. So I didn't want to get in trouble doing it somewhere where I shouldn't, or chance getting caught. So for that reason, I'm bringing it here. This way they can put it up on the lift. My next stop after this, well, not my next stop, but my next destination is Tuck. That is 2,200 miles away from where I'm at right now. From there, I'm going into Alaska. I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling away from everybody and anything. So I didn't have the part. I would have had to rip this thing apart, identified what it was, put it back together, and then come back into town and buy the parts and then do it all over again. Or buy everything that I possibly thought that it could be and then return whatever I didn't use. So I didn't have a whole lot of good options. Like I said, if I had the part and I was on the side of the road, I could do it myself if I knew what it was. But the sound goes from one side to the other, which either it's both sides are bad, or there's something wrong in the housing itself, and that's why the sound's moving. I don't know. They're going to be able to tell me. So my other problem was I removed my front drive shaft to see if that might be a problem that I was having, that it, was a drive shaft issue. But when I did that, I broke the bolt off on the front of the drive shaft, so that bolt is stuck in there. I asked if they could remove it. It's something that I could possibly do, but I don't want to do it unless I absolutely have to, because if I screw it up, I don't need to bring it into these guys and be like, okay, we're going to have to do this and this and retap it, or you need a new yoke because we can't get the bolt out. So they're going to attempt to get the bolt out if they have time. Hopefully they do, because I kind of need that, and if not, I'm going to be somewhere outside of Calgary with my back out system. But the problem is, if that bolt broke off, it's in there with Loctite, and getting it out, even with my back out bits and my drill bits, it could be interesting. So it's worth paying these guys to try to get it out themselves. That's where I'm at. Not real happy about it, but the silver lining, now I'm in Calgary and I'm in a position where I can get this done and get this taken care of the correct way, rather than pulling my hair out on the side of a road and trying to get parts and everything else. So I did luck out that it happened here. Hopefully I don't have any further issues. If I can keep it that it's within axle shaft and bearing issues, that would be great, because that's on me for putting all this weight in this vehicle and not using the right parts up front. We'll see how the rest of the trip goes. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot of driving where I'm going to be the only one out in the middle of nowhere. It'd be great to have this thing buttoned up and taken care of, and hopefully I don't have any issues out that way, but it's part of the adventure. So I found this spot on the Smoky River, which isn't too far off the road that I was on. There's the bridge. Actually, it's about, I think, a mile and a half to get to this location from there. But it's not exactly quiet because you can hear the road. There's also, I think, a state-run thing right up the hill here, like a park or something. I can hear people up there. So, but this area supposedly is outside that, and there is somebody else staying here. They've got a trailer with some motorbikes on it. So I think I should be here okay for the one night, and according to iOverlander, they didn't have an issue either. So this is going to be it. It's got a weird smell to it. I think it's just like stagnant mud or water or something. So it doesn't smell exactly great here either. But it is 9 o'clock, and I need to settle in. Put over 400 miles behind me, probably about 460, 480, something like that. So made pretty good progress today, considering that there isn't a whole lot to see on this. So tomorrow I should be in British Columbia, and the landscape's starting to get a little bit nicer. You can't see it here, but it looked like there were some canyon walls in the distance. But so this is it. I'm going to settle in and call it a night and start whenever I feel like it tomorrow.